Hey guys, before we get started, I wanted to tell you about a free resource on the Scrivener Solutions website. We all know that consistency builds trust, but somehow getting on that consistency train can be hard. Finding the time, thinking of what to say. Oh my goodness, believe me, I feel your pain. I get it. I know all too well the struggle. Sometimes we make things way too complicated for ourselves. You don't need a complicated plan to become consistent with your content marketing. Working that consistency muscle by using a super simple content plan will give you a big win, and you can build upon that. We have a free resource to help you. Go over to scrivenersolutions.com/checklist and download the super simple strategy to jumpstart consistent content creation checklist. Yes, it's a long name, but all you have to remember is scrivenersolutions.com/checklist, and you can get that instant download. Get started on the right foot and make the commitment to consistency. Other things will follow, but consistency really does matter. Start super simple and download the checklist at scrivenersolutions.com/checklist. All right, now onto the show. Hi, I'm Gayla Scrivener, ex-corporate girl and now work-from-anywhere adventure seeker. Creating a work-from-anywhere lifestyle isn't without its challenges, but those challenges certainly don't overshadow all the many benefits. What breaks my heart is seeing folks stuck and unhappy in a career and lifestyle when they want more out of life. I believe that we all have the opportunity to create the life of our dreams and earn a living in fun and creative ways to make our dream lifestyle a reality. You too can experience wonderful adventure and freedom as you live life on your own terms. In this weekly podcast, I share experiences when it comes to growing a lifestyle business through guest interviews, content marketing experience and perspectives, virtual leadership lessons, and I'll even throw in some travel adventures. My hope is through all the interviews, the tips, advice, and personal experience, you'll be inspired and motivated to keep going and creating your dream lifestyle. Life's an adventure. There's no time but the present to live life to the fullest. Hi there, and welcome to the show. We're continuing our series about networking today with a conversation with my good friend, Kat Williams. She's the owner of Courageous Business Connect. It's a local to Springfield, Missouri area business networking group. I met Kat many years ago at the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey. She is so bubbly and pours out positivity everywhere she goes. People seem to just gravitate to Kat, and to me, she seems to be the most well-connected person in the area. Now, I admire Kat in so many ways. She's a naturally curious individual. She's non-judgmental and brings out the best in everyone. Kat and I originally met in a local referral networking group so many years ago. She was heavily involved in that group, helping grow it to thousands of members and dozens of chapters in the Southwest Missouri and Northwest Arkansas regions. Over time, though, an idea began to percolate of a different kind of group, a group that would offer more than standing up for a quick elevator pitch and reporting numbers of referrals passed. There was nothing wrong with the referral networking group that she helped grow because that formula works. But over time, that desire to make her dream networking group a reality could not be ignored. She knew that being on the leadership team and then leaving the largest networking group in the area could burn some bridges and could hurt some feelings. And I know that Kat struggled with that. She didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. She didn't want to lose friendships. She didn't want to be seen as competition. You see, her view is always working collaboratively. She understood, though, that not everyone thinks as openly as she does, and to begin making her dream a reality, she had to take the leap and the risk of shaking up the status quo of her current position in the community. Well, needless to say, I am so proud of Kat because she found the courage to take that leap and start Courageous Business Connect, offering small business owners something different in our community. She brings seasoned entrepreneurs as well as startups together to share knowledge for collaborative business growth. She believes in the beauty and importance of the small business in our economy and likes to keep the money local. She always says that she has 3 rules if you want to play in her playground: honesty, integrity, and the golden rule. You always need to treat people like you want to be treated. Well, here we go. Let's get right into my conversation with Kat, shall we? Well, welcome, Kat. I am so glad that you're here.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Gayla. It's so good to be with you.
Oh, it's been a long time. We met, I don't know, it seems like so many years ago, but it had to have been, I'm calculating, almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think so. Mercy. I've been in the networking field since 2009, so it has been a long time.
And I started my business 2012, and that's when I started networking in the Springfield, Missouri area, and we got connected through a mutual networking group. It has been a long time since we've connected. I'm just glad to have you here. And before we get started too much, why don't you tell my listeners a little bit about yourself?
Well, thank you again for having me. It's so good to see you and be able to chat with you. I have missed you. So, I'm a connector and I've just connected people all my life. So that's kind of like networking. I spent a lot of time with my grandpa growing up. And my grandpa was one of those people in the community that everybody loved. He would go pick me up from school and we would go to the Burger Shack and get something. And then he would always take his car. And that's back when Main Street actually had, businesses down Main Street. We would go, he would park his car at one end and he would go in and out of these businesses with me, asking them how their day was going, if he could pray for them, what could he do for them. And so I learned how to connect people because he was very good he knew everybody in the county and he was good about connecting people together. And I learned that at a very early age. But I love people. I love to help people connect together. If you have a need, I have somebody who can fill that need. So I've just always done that. So now I do it full time as my profession.
I am so proud of you because when you started your networking group, why don't you tell us a little bit about your networking group?
So I started my group in 2018. It's called Courageous Business Connect. There's a lot of networking groups out there and they all have their great purpose. But I wanted something that was different than anyone else. I think outside the box. I don't like being in the box. So I wanted something positive, friendly, and uplifting. So we start our meetings with an affirmation. We end our meetings with an affirmation, and it's positivity through the whole entire thing. I might be a little bit more laid back than some other ones, but we are very friendly, community oriented. So instead of counting how many referrals or how many closed business that people have had, I love to give people an opportunity during the meeting to say kudos to someone. Thank you for the referral, or I had a great meeting one-on-one with someone, and just encourage people to really say something great about someone else within the group. So when you are part of CBC, you're not just glued to one chapter or one group. We call our groups teams because we all work together to help each other. So you're part of the whole organization. You can come and go to any of the groups you want. We have no attendance policy. We're not category exclusive. And people are like, what? Actually, I have found over the last 3 years that the industries that are the same, they all have a little bit of a niche. And once they build a good foundational relationship, they are very good referral partners. I have this 2 cleaning companies in my organization. One is great at floors, and the other one is really great at the other cleaning services. And they have worked together on several jobs. They've done a hoarder house together. They've done apartment complexes together. And they have found that even though they're in the same industry, because they've built a trustworthy relationship, they're able to do some jobs where just one of them wasn't able to do it all. By combining forces, they're able to do more. And I love it when my people work together that are in the same industry, or even just the whole community as itself. We are very big in the community. We love to help people out. So we've done things with different organizations in town. Last November, we got complete turkey dinners for Thanksgiving and gave to 11 single parents. I started out being single moms because I am a single mom, have been for many, many years. And then a couple of our people said, well, we know a couple of dads that could really use that too. And I said, well, give me their name and number and we'll make sure they get a basket. Wow. So those are the kind of things that we do in CBC besides just pass referrals and get closed business.
You've talked about what makes you different than other networking groups and the collaboration instead of competition. I love that. Do you have any other examples? I mean, do you teach folks how to network properly?
I do.
Is there a proper way to network?
There is a proper way, and it is building a relationship. That is the key foundation to any networking. You know, you can send 100 people to your brother's business, but is that a good referral? If they really don't want their service or need their service, it's taking time out of the person's day who is giving the referral and taking time out of the person that you're sending them to. So by building a good relationship with our team, I always tell people that this is your team. This is your sales team. And if you don't know what your sales team does, then you can't properly refer them. So we've done different workshops. Lauren Newman, who is an international business coach, is part of CBC, and she has done workshops for me. Carol Throckmorton is a certified DISC coach, and she has done workshops for me. And we have other workshops scheduled. So we are teaching our people how to build those relationships. We have these free workshops. I have a lady that I have connected with up by DC somewhere. Mm-hmm. And she's an expert in body language. And so I'm working on this fall to have her come down. And when she comes down, I'm also going to connect with a couple of other networking groups that I am friendly with. And yes, networking people can be friendly with other networking people because we're all a little bit different. So case in point, sorry, squirrel, but one of the networking groups and I have joined forces to do a back to school bash. And so we have teamed up with the War Zone, which is a Nerf gun arena here in Springfield. So if you bring $5 worth of supplies, then you get an hour of $5 free. I mean, $5 to play, and it's usually 13. And then so her people are advertising it, my people are advertising it, and then we'll just bring it together and go give it to the Salvation Army.
Wow. Yeah, collaboration. So, I love that.
Yeah.
Instead of competition.
Yes.
I don't know about you, I think there's plenty of business for everybody.
I totally agree. I mean, there is so many people and so much business out there. If you just work together, you can get so much more done.
Mm-hmm. Everybody has their secret sauce or their talents that they can contribute, and people that are in the same industry, it is fantastic. You could kind of talk the same talk, right? And help each other be lifted instead of tearing each other down.
That is so true. So another example is that I have two financial planners, mm-hmm. totally different companies. One is newer than the other one. And so the seasoned financial planner has taken time to sit down and help the newer financial planner get started and get a direction. And with them working together, she found what she wanted her niche to be. And she wants to really focus and work on divorced moms, single moms, and showing them that they can have an income, helping them with a budget. But that was sitting down several times with this other financial planner, and then him asking her questions and helping find her niche and her direction. And so I love the way that they work together and they help each other out.
Had you seen that type of collaboration in other networking groups?
Oh, heavens, no. There's so much competition, and it's all about numbers. And numbers are important. They're just not the top of my list. They're somewhere in there. But relationships and people. And when people know how much you care, I mean, they're just more open. And I love people, and I want to teach other people how to love people and care about them. And then listen to what it is instead of just, oh, I have to get my quota in, you know, I have to be top dog, or I have to have all the business. Nobody's going to have all the business. Nobody even wants all the business. What if your personality and someone else's personality just clashes? You don't want to have a client who hates you, and you don't want to have a client that you hate. But if you have built a relationship with someone else, you can go, oh, your personality and your personality really match. Let me refer you to and get you guys connected. I teach our people, you want to be the go-to person for your client. Because if they're always thinking about you, then one, they're always going to use your services. Two, they're going to send you referrals. When you can meet the needs of people, and that is something, I've been in sales all my life, basically. And if you can meet someone's need, you're going to have a lifetime client. You know, I've sold a service, and it's not easy sometimes to sell services and keep those clients. But I started in 2009 with this one particular company, and I still have people on my books from 2009 because I'm customer service oriented. I care about people. I listen to their needs, and I'm their go-to person. And if you can be that for your clients, you are going to be successful in life.
Yeah. Being rooted in relationships, you were talking about numbers. Numbers don't matter, but they just come with genuine relationships, because the right people seem to present themselves at the right time.
That is so true. And numbers are important. It's just, I'm more about relationships, and you're right, the numbers will come. And the more you give, the more you receive. It's just the way it is. If you are a giver, then you are going to get back. And I always tell my people at the end of our meetings, I say, never leave any kind of meeting. I don't care if you're at a network function. I don't care if you're at a chamber. I don't care if you're at a funeral. Don't leave without setting up at least 2 connections with somebody because you never know who they know, and you need to get to know that person. So I'm very, very big on that. Just because you don't need their service doesn't mean that your clients might not. So set up a meeting with every single person that is on our sales team.
How large have you grown since 2018?
So we have 113 members.
Nice.
And, some people are like, oh, is that all you have? But, I have built a really good foundation. Again, I didn't want to be the quickest, the fastest. I wanted to have a good foundation of people, and we do. We have a solid, good foundational of people. And now we can start blossoming out and growing even more. I mean, I have 9 groups. I'm very personable with all 113 people.
That speaks a lot. I don't think bigger means better, honestly.
I don't either. You can have 1,000 people and it could not be.
It could be impersonal. It's supposed to be personal, but
it is supposed to be personal.
But building relationships should be personal. And like I said, I think that's fantastic. That is great growth, I think. And you're right here in Southwest Missouri. You're set up for face-to-face meetings. How did COVID and lockdowns affect you?
So when that happened, I learned a new thing called Zoom. And you've known me for many years, so technology has been my challenge, but I learned how to Zoom. And so we started out Zooming, and we Zoomed for several months. And Zoom is wonderful. It's a great tool. I love it. I've learned to love it. But when you are that relationship thing, and we're very active in our meetings, as it went on, we were like, we're missing something here. We're missing the being together, because there's nothing like being together for excitement and, getting you going. So we still had to be kind of careful, because all the, you could get ticketed, blah, blah, blah. So we did Zoom the entire time, but we also started doing parking lot meetups.
Really? What was that all about?
So my code, because, you never knew who was listening in on anything, I would say, I feel like at 2:00 today, I am going to Traveler's Coffee House and get a Paris tea. And that was code for everybody knew we were going to bring a lawn chair, set up in the parking lot, and we would get something to support travelers because, we're very big on our local businesses. So we did that for several months. We would just bring our lawn chairs and everybody would come. We'd be in a big circle in the parking lot and we would
keep your
network.
social distance.
We social distance. Sometimes we would circle around in our cars. It was like, the Wild West where we circled wagons, we circled the cars so we could all be on the same way talking.
Oh, how fun.
So it was quite interesting. And then, things started letting up. So we were able to start holding meetings again inside places.
Oh, that is such a great idea and innovative and fun. It brought you guys together. You kept together through those difficult times.
We did. And because we had built relationships, we were still passing referrals. There were still being things passed and people's business was going. And we just kept things going and kept people working.
I could imagine that you guys, because you started, what did you say, in 2018? And then by the time 2020 came, you got your relationships were pretty solid. I bet you guys were really a great resource for all the members to hold each other up through the difficulties, because there's so many types of businesses. Some were really hit hard and some were hit hard with prosperity and they didn't know how to handle so much more business. And it was an odd time.
It was a very odd time. And so for our restaurants, because, most of the time we gather in restaurants and do our meetings. So our restaurants were really hit hard. So we would, do the parking lot meetings at Travelers. We would do dinner at Archie's. We'd have one night where everybody ordered dinner from Archie's. We would help him, so whatever our restaurant was, we would have a different day that we would support that. It was like a community effort. And that's really what CBC is. It's a community that we love people and want to help others.
That is awesome. Now, what had been your biggest challenge in starting CBC?
Well, honestly, how do I say this? I had been very big a part of another networking group. And so I did not want to be accused of stealing anybody's people. So I took close people that I knew very well, had built relationships with, and I told them about what I was doing. I worked very hard the first year to find new people so that I would not be accused of any wrongdoings, because I only have 3 rules in CBC. I say there's only 3 rules to play my playground: honesty, integrity, and the golden rule. Just treat people right and treat people like you want to be treated. Be honest and have integrity in your business. And so I'm very big about that. So that was probably the most difficult thing starting out, was to not, just go get people that I already knew, but to start all over fresh with brand new people and finding new people and bringing new people in.
That is very honorable of you. I mean, you're very networked. A ton of people, and Springfield is a huge town in my eyes. I come from a small town, and I'd bet you know about everybody there in Springfield. That networking group has had a lot of members, and that's very honorable of you to tap into different connections to bring in new people to get your solid foundation.
Well, thank you. I just want to treat people like I want to be treated. And, I love Jesus with all my heart. And I want to make him proud of everything that I do. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it would honor him or anyone else if I didn't do it the way that he has called me to do it. And so I'm like, okay, Lord, if you want me to do this, then bring me the people. And I just started meeting new people, like everywhere I went. Like people would just be in my pathway and you're right. I've been networking in Springfield for over 10 years, and I know a lot of people, but it just seemed like there was these new people coming out of the woodwork and I was making connections with, and it's really been a lot of fun.
I love it. With you being a connector, and I know that people gravitate to you and you help them. What is their biggest struggle that you can help them with?
I think it's getting past the mindset of competition, for one, because a lot of them have learned that. Two, I think just learning a whole different way of networking and how you can work with people, and not just people in your industry, but work with a group of people and learn that building those relationships are the most important thing. And I also have a lot of new businesses. I have several seasons businesses in my group, but I have a lot of new business people too. And just being able to sit down and go one-on-one with them. One of the cleaning companies that I was talking about, she had just started her business and had 2 clients when she joined us. We have worked with her and coached her and helped her grow to where her husband has been able to go full-time, and they both do it full-time now.
Wow.
And she's like maxed out almost as much as she can do without hiring new people. So it's walking through whatever struggle they have, encouraging them, guiding them, finding the right people to help them to learn and grow. And that's what I do.
Would you be able to share like a favorite resource or a book that had made a huge difference for you professionally?
So I am huge in affirmations. I use them all the time. I have for years. And I'm so big in that, in listening to positive stuff. You've got to put positive in you all the time. Obviously, the Bible is huge for me, but Les Brown, I love to listen to Les Brown. He is very uplifting, he really encourages people. So I listen to him. I don't read a lot, but I listen to books on Audible.
Same thing, apparently. I said to a friend, I don't know if Audible is actually counts as reading. And she's like, yes, it does. And I said, okay, I'll take it.
Well, it's about the only time in the car that I have time to actually listen to stuff. So I love to listen to Les Brown. There's a book called Sun Stand Still that I really like. Mm-hmm. And there's a book called Battlefield of the Mind, because, a lot of our problems is in between our ears. And, we can get stuck in ourselves. And if we could help work those thoughts out. And so I love that book. The Circle Maker is a really good book for me anyway. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if you've heard of the ULA guys.
No.
They are chiropractors that have become coaches.
Oh, cool.
And they help you to get all 7 areas of your life in balance. And so here lately, I went through their one, ULA Balance in an Unbalanced World. And I'm on the second one, which is ULA for Christians. And they have a unique way of teaching people finances. So, oh man, I don't know if I can remember all 7 areas I always miss one. But they work on your faith, your field, your fun, your finances, your fitness. What's the other 2? Family, and I'm missing one. So they help you find where you're out of balance and where you can work on those to get more in balance. And I just really have fell in love with these 2 guys, the ULA guys. If you get to,
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Kat, how do people stay connected with you?
So I have my website, courageousbusinessconnect.com. I'm all over Facebook, also courageousbusiness.com. So look for the big lion and the cross. And don't be afraid of the cross. I always tell people, don't be afraid of the cross.
I love it. And if you're in Southwest Missouri, my listeners may be from all over. And if they're traveling to Southwest Missouri, the Springfield, Missouri area, can I just do a shout out and say, hey, go to courageousbusiness.com, courageousbusinessconnect.com, and find a meeting time and maybe drop in and say, hey.
Yes, I would love that. It's on our website. It's on our Facebook. And, my phone number's on there if they want to call me. I love talking to people, so they can call me anytime.
So visitors are welcome.
Visitors are very welcome. I love people. There's some companies that have more than one person, and I'm like, more the merrier. That just gives us another person to know and another person to know us. So I love people coming. And if you want to bring your spouse, I had one of our ladies the other day bring her spouse, and he's retired, but he enjoys coming to the meetings just because he enjoys it.
Well, you don't know who he knows, who he can refer.
That's right. So that's what I say. Just come on. We'll make you feel very welcome.
Sometimes connections or business comes in the most unlikely places from someone that you may not even realize.
Totally agree. And that's, again, welcoming people, not being so closed about things. You need to invite people in, and because so what if they're retired? What if they retired from a company that, if you're a healthcare salesperson, and you've been trying to get in that company for years, but you didn't know the right person? What if they retired from that company and they come to a meeting because they're enjoying just the positivity of it and having lunch with their wife, and you make a connection?
That is awesome. I love it. Well, I am so glad that you joined me today, Kat. It's been way too long. And when I am in town, I promise I'm going to come and visit.
Well, thank you so much for having me. You're right. It's been a long time and I miss you. Oh, I love you so much.
I love
and
you
I would
too.
love to have you come to one of our meetings. That would just make me happy.
Well, I'm going to make you happy real soon.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for joining me today. If you're ever in the Springfield, Missouri area, consider visiting one of Courageous Business Connect's teams. Well, heck, you've probably heard of Branson, because when Robert and I are out and about, when people ask where we're from, most people recognize Branson and know exactly where that is versus knowing where Springfield is. Well, anyway, Springfield and Branson are pretty close together. The drive between the two is beautiful. I'm impressed that Kat has a CBC team just south of Branson, plus several north of Branson on your way to Springfield, with several in Ozark, Nixa, Republic, Stratford, as well as Springfield. So be sure to give me a heads up if you're ever in the area. I may be in the area too. I may not be traveling out and about and be kind of sitting at the home base. And I would gladly love to go with you. Well, again, thanks for listening. And it would be fantastic if you'd subscribe, if you haven't already done so. I'd be over the moon appreciative if you'd drop in a 5-star review and even share with someone who may find this info helpful and enjoyable. One last favor. If you are a branding consultant or know someone who is and doesn't want to manage a whole bunch of employees or independent contractors or mess with all the processes and SOPs that come with content marketing, yet wants to have recurring income from your clients, well, let's talk. Scrivener Solutions offers white label content marketing services. Yep. You can concentrate on creating the branding and marketing plan for your clients, and then you can let the Scrivener Solutions implementation team help you get that plan into reality. Go over to scrivenersolutions.com/white label to find out more details about how you can tap into our experience, our systems, and to create recurring income for your branding consultancy. Again, go over to scrivenersolutions.com/white label and schedule a call. Can't wait to hear from you. Well, until next time, have a fantastic week.